Hare Krishna, Arshiya.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you for joining on this podcast by taking your time out.
Thank you for having me.
So Arshiya holds a bachelor's degree in statistics from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, and currently she is pursuing her master's from the Indian Statistical Institute. Along with that, she is also interning from JP Morgan and Chase. So again, welcome, Arshiya. So before going into some serious questions, topics, the first question I want to ask that the past year you have been at ISI Delhi. So
Yes.
how was the campus life? The reason behind this question is that many aspirants get motivated by hearing this type of thing that they
Yeah.
get to enjoy. Yeah.
So it's a very unique campus life, honestly. It's not like any other institution. So as everyone knows, it's a very small campus. So there are, I think, mostly three batches. So there's one statistics batch and there are two economics batches. So it's a very small campus. Everyone knows each other. So it's almost like a very tight-knit community. And the campus itself, it's a small campus, but it's a very beautiful campus. So it's like full of trees and birds, and it's very, very peaceful. So amidst the stress and everything, that is it's a very nice thing to have that kind of a campus. And you're always around people who are very passionate about learning and maths and stats. So that's also, it's very unique because you're always seeing people discussing about something and being like that. And honestly, since it's a very intense environment, you bond with people over that kind of struggle, and you form friendships over that. And the campus is so nice that you can walk, late at night. You can just walk through the campus when you don't feel nice. And yeah, it's a very, very, very charming campus.
Yeah, I think this will motivate many aspirants. Now into serious questions. So so what was your overall preparation for this exam, the ISI M.Stat entrance exam?
So my general strategy for the exam was, the first thing was to get my concepts very clear, because ISI, it's not really like the other competitive exams in the market. Like, it relies a lot on how clear your concepts are. But that's not the only thing, I think. Some people think that, if you really study a lot and you don't need to, solve that many problems, it will get you there. But I also think that actively solving problems is a very important part of preparing for the ISI exam. Um, like, of course, like after you build a certain amount of your concepts, I think it's important to see uh, by problem solving how good they actually are. So my strategy was to read something and then try and solve maybe some previous year questions, because that gives you a feel of what kind of questions you could actually get in the exam, and it helps you sort of understand what they expect you to know at that level. So I think that doing this kind of thing, studying and then solving these kinds of problems, it trains your brain to sort of understand those patterns, like understand what they expect from you. So that's kind of what I did.
Okay, okay. So during preparation, so what have you seen that what common mistakes that aspirants make?
So I think some common mistakes that people make is that uh, they sort of so two things. I think one is that some people focus too much on the formulae and stuff, because I think before ISI there's the JAM exam. So there's JAM for mathematical statistics, and that is a very different exam, because the time is short and you have to answer a lot of questions. So people try and memorize a lot of formulae. Like, you have to memorize the formulae, otherwise it's difficult to answer, a significant number of questions. But ISI is different. Like, I don't think it would help you that much if you just marked up everything. I mean, you have to remember some things because you cannot derive all of that. But yeah, I mean, the focus should not be on that, I think. And one more thing, like I said, is that focusing too much on theory. Like, if you don't solve enough problems, then when you write the PSB, especially, it could be an issue, because like that is sort of, there is a time constraint, and you have to write, coherently so that the examiner understands properly. And I think one more thing is that, some people think that they'll, finish all the concepts and then they'll start doing the problems. That is actually, I've suffered from that. So I know that that's not always the best thing to do. Like, it's like both have to happen at the same time. So you have to read the concepts and you have to solve the problems. And yeah.
So you have really focused about problem solving. So when you used to solve problems,
Yeah.
yeah, it is like common that you will face like that you are not able to do some problems. It is very
Right.
common. So
Yeah.
how you used to approach that situation?
When I initially started solving the PSB, when I looked at a PSB for the first time, it was honestly it was overwhelming because it's a very very different kind of question paper. So doing that for the first time, it's definitely very very challenging. But I think that when there are difficult problems, and if it's something that you can't answer straight away, you should not try and look at some readily available solutions right away. So what I did was that if it was a difficult question, and I would just sit with it. So I would try and see how much of it I could do, or the way I was thinking. So I would proceed like that, and actually that helps because you understand exactly where you're getting stuck. So at which point you are getting stuck. So I think like I used to sort of try and figure out what the question was actually asking, and what's sort of the underlying concept of that question. And then if I absolutely could not proceed with it, I would discuss with my friends or maybe somebody who could help me with it. And I think like one thing that really helped when the problems were very difficult is that I used to actually look at Tattvaras's solutions. Like, uh,
Okay.
yes. So because like they did not just solve the problems, they also explained the concepts that were underlying. So that actually helped a lot. Like while doing while doing
Okay.
the problems, yeah. So at the end of the video, I think I I could understand the concept, and I would sort of try and remember that when I was doing like the next problem or something.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when like in our time also we used to do group study. So say suppose four or five people are solving a sum, and we used to see which sum is like which is the most efficient way to solve a sum, and that approach we used to take because five people are solving in five different maybe in five in mathematics five different ways, and the optimal way we used to take and we used to note down this sum then we still will do this.
Yeah, that is actually, yeah, because when I used to discuss with maybe one or two friends, like while preparing, and oftentimes they would have a faster solution, like a better solution. So I would try and remember that.
So, like I have seen so many innovative solutions. Like I used to think that like I will not never be able to crack this exam. They have such innovative solutions, but again by practice, I think will be
Yes, it's
possible.
practice.
So I think in campus life also it helps because master
Yeah,
is a
definitely.
real a different game than bachelors. I think you have known that.
Surely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like during my bachelor's, I was a day scholar, so I used to travel every day, and there was not much room for group study because everybody used to study on their own. But I think during masters, like I did some group study with my friends, and it actually really helps. Like I don't know, because everybody has different ideas. So if you're stuck with something, it's you should always like try and get that help, like because time is limited, so you should get the help.
Put aside your ego and then you could ask for
Yeah,
help.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Okay, so have you given mock tests for ISI?
Yes, I have given some mock tests, like
Okay,
two or
so
three.
okay. So how should ideally one give a mock test just for fun or for like how you used to prepare that for that?
So, mock tests, like they are, of course, an important part of the preparation. But I think that some, like even this used to happen to me. So while, appearing for mock tests initially, I didn't do that well. But like we should not try and make judgments based on those mock tests. Like we should not judge our intelligence or our level. Like we should not always make absolute judgments based on that. Like it's a tool. Like it's a help. Like it's a strategy to help us prepare, right? So, um, yeah. So I wouldn't sort of I would try not to feel that bad if I didn't do that well. One thing that I did was, which I also think is important for M.Stat, because it's not a computer-based test. So it's like the PSA and the PSB, they're written tests. So PSA is OMR based. So when I used to sit for the PSA mocks, I used to sort of fill the OMR. So I used to try and make it as much like the exam setting as possible. So, very strict with time. When I sit and I, do it through the whole 2 hours, and I fill the OMR and everything, like make it as much like the original exam as possible. So, yeah, and like after the mock tests, like when there were mistakes, I would try and not feel that bad. I would try and understand where I made the mistakes and just take away from that.
So do you used to give mock test at the time of the exam? I mean, the exam, when the exam is like, for example, suppose the exam is scheduled from 11 a.m. So do you used to give mock test at 11 a.m. or during any other time?
I didn't do that, but I think a lot of people do that so that, it's very much like the exam. Actually, like, so our during our time, ISI was on 11th May. So the exam was on 11th May, and our semester exams had finished on 2nd May. So we had a very short time. So during that time, I had to revise and stuff. So like I could not always, coordinate with that time. Like I could not start from 11. So but yeah, I mean, I tried to make it like, like 2 hours PSA and then a break and then 2 hours PSV. So I tried to maintain that.
Yeah, okay. So suppose at the last stretch of the preparation, the last 1 week or 2 weeks, you are trying to solve a sum and you are unable to do it. It may happen, right?
Yeah, it can. It
And
can.
that causes some amount of self-doubt.
Of
So
course.
how you used to tackle that?
Uh, well, that is, I used to struggle with it. Like I'm saying this like I did not struggle, but I struggled with it. But I think that, uh, we have to give ourselves some like cut ourselves some slack, because if I can't solve a problem like a week or two before the exam, it does not necessarily mean that I don't understand that, or that I don't have that concept clear. Sometimes it can just be that on that day I am not able to do it. Like it's specific, it can depend on that, right? And like preparation, I feel like it's not a linear process. It's not like I'll do better on day one, then even better on day two, and like that. It's very non-linear. So yeah, there will be ups and downs. It can be that you can't solve a problem like a week before. So I think it's important to be very calm during that time. Like if I can't solve it, I'm not going to panic. I'll be calm and I'll try and figure out exactly where I'm getting stuck. And sometimes it used to happen that the place where I got stuck, it was a very new concept. So maybe like 1 week before the exam, I'm discovering a question which is very new, like the concept is very new. So I think that when it's that soon before an exam, if you already have the stress of other topics, like sometimes it like you can just sort of skip that part, because like learning a new concept for the first time right before an exam, that is it's a very difficult thing and it's hard to implement it. So yeah, I mean, don't be that hard on yourself if you can't solve a question. Just be calm and try and understand where the problem is.
So you have given JAM. Have you given GATE?
I have not given gate.
So you have given JAM and ISI. So
Yes.
at any point of I think you have cracked both of them.
Yes,
So
yes.
at any point of the exam, did you feel that you are stuck, you are unable to do, or you have just comfortably have completed the papers?
No, no, no. I was stuck. I was stuck.
You are stuck. So
Yes, like so for IS like JAM, I was definitely stuck. And in fact, like during JAM, like our paper, it was not a typical JAM paper. So like the year before us, like the 2024 paper, it was very, very easy, right? It was really, really easy. And of course, we did not expect that it would be like that. But we also, I think most of us did not expect that it would be like the paper that we got. So yes, I mean, definitely I got stuck, and and during ISI, PSA was easy. So PSA, I did not get that stuck. But when I got the PSB paper for the first time, I was like looking through the questions, and I felt like I could possibly, like, at most I would answer three. Like, I could not answer more than that. And I had a mindset in which I wanted to solve more than that. I mean, I wanted to do like a good amount of the questions. So, like, there was a brief moment when I felt like, oh, I'm going to panic now. Like, what's going to happen? But I tried to calm myself and I tried to find the easiest question. So out of those many questions, I found the easiest question. It was possibly there was a question on constrained likelihood estimation. So I picked that question and I was able to solve it. Then I picked the next easiest question, and like that, when I realized that I'm able to solve that question, like, it gave me some confidence and it made me feel better. So after I was done with those three questions, I wasn't panicking. So I sort of approached it like, you know, I tried to ignore that I was in a setting like that. So I tried to make it feel like I'm just trying to solve a new problem, like something that I haven't seen, and I will do it as much as I can, like the best that I can. So I tried to approach it like that, and that actually helped me because eventually I solved about 6.5 questions. So
Okay.
it helped. Like, uh, that actually helped. I think that when you're stuck, during the exam, like, don't panic, okay? Don't give up uh, midway, because that's not going to help you. Just if it feels difficult for you, then it probably feels difficult for other people,
Yeah.
because you're not alone. Like,
That was my mindset also.
yeah.
We appeared in 2021 for the jam, suppose. So you have solved the jam 2021 paper and you have seen that it was tough.
It was tough. It was tough.
Yeah. And
Yes.
before us, the 2020 paper was smooth. Like I
Yeah.
solved in 1 or 1.5 hour. It is so easy. And when I have seen the paper 2021 at the exam hall, like I couldn't, like I was seeing every question and I think I am like I'm unable to solve any of them. If I'm trying to do one, the options are not matching. It
I
for it happened for 5 or 6 months. Then I was shattered because after so much of practice, I am unable to do anything, and I have to wear a mask due to corona, suffocating already. So then I have took a deep breath and I paused for 1 minute. Then again I have started solving, and then it happened. So so for those who will be watching this video, these discussions are that we all face this, but we have to overcome this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in every competitive exam, there are negative marks, right? And people often tend to guess if they are unable to solve any question. So, how much you used to guess? Have you guessed anything?
Uh, in the actual ISI exam, I did not guess. I did not make any guesses. So out of 30 in PSA, I attempted 23, and all of them were right. So I think actually during the mock exams, I used to guess like maybe one or two. But I found out that usually when I guessed, it would be wrong. So I decided not to guess eventually. Uh, I think that, blind guessing is a bad idea. Like, if you don't have any idea about the answer, don't guess it. Because in ISI, if you don't attempt a question, you get 1 mark by default. So just don't. Like, if it's a blind guess, then it's not good to guess. But if you have like a very strong idea about what the answer should be, and if you can narrow it down to something, then it's very personal, I think. Like, it differs from person to person. Like, if you're very sure, but maybe you don't have the time to like verify it completely, like, it could be something like that. Then, like, if you think that it's good enough, then maybe you should guess.
And how have you utilized your final month before the exam?
Uh,
We're having the same you have told.
yes, yes. So final month, we had our final semester examination, sixth sem. So I had effectively, a week to prepare for, like, not prepare, but like final touch-ups and stuff. So I think that if you have a month to spare completely before the ISI exam, then you should, like, ideally one should focus more on sort of like consolidating what you already know rather than learning the new topics, because learning new topics is takes time and it's difficult. So if I had like a full month, I would probably, go back to the previous year papers and see how I've solved every question, what the concept is behind that. If I remember, if I can sort of approach it independently. So just maybe look at the questions without the solutions and try and see if I can like approach it, you know, like I have solved it. And another good thing to do is give mock tests. 1 month is a sufficiently okay time, so you can give mock tests to sort of put yourself in that kind of a situation, train yourself to write it in 2 hours. And also like revising concepts, like revising results, because like I said, ISI you don't have to mug up every result, but deriving everything is hard. So like there are some standard things that you should remember, you should know before the exam. And one other important thing is to sort of make this is not like restricted to 1 month, obviously, but one important thing is to, make a note of what mistakes you're making in both PSA and PSB. And so if you have like a document on that, and if you revisit it like 1 month before the exam, it will be in your mind that, like, this is where I'm making a mistake and I should like be careful about that kind of thing. And apart from this, I think that like also give priority to your mental health, because like the final 1 month it's stressful. So you should get enough sleep and you should try and not get burnt out, because that is what happens to a lot of people. Like it's a very competitive exam, and thinking about that you can feel very burnt out. So try and avoid that. Don't constantly compare yourself with your friends, because you are not seeing them all the time. You might feel like they are doing lots and lots better, but everybody has their own struggles, right? So don't compare yourself all the time with other people. And for me personally, since I had like 1 week after my semester exams, I went back to the PSV mostly, because PSI I had solved enough. PSV I used to go and look at what mistakes I had made and stuff. And that entire 1 week, to like avoid getting burnt out, I used to like watch some Netflix or something like every night, so that it would like de-stress me. So, and it helped because on the day of the exam, I was very relaxed. Like I had no, bad thoughts or anything. So I just went and I wrote the exam.
Yeah. So one thing is that since you have already cracked the JAM exam, so you have one college to go, but that gives actually
That is, yes, that is also a point that I had that as a backup. I knew that if ISI didn't work out, I would have one place to go to. But I mean, I think like still for me, like ISI was the target. So
yeah,
I knew that I really wanted to crack that exam.
yeah, definitely. Uh, One thing that I uh, want to know that for the viewers is that when I was giving the exam, ISI exam, the current went from the hall and it was
Oh,
very hot. So these situations can happen, and
yes.
people
That
can,
is very true. In fact, like our center was, I think, Heritage Institute of Technology, and the fans were not working, and it was very hot. So, I mean, bad situations can happen. Like,
yeah, we are the corona batch, and that's why the checking was very time consuming for our batch, and we used to stand for an hour or more in the like sunlight. It was
oh,
before the
that's,
exam, and the exam was also not started on time. It delayed, like it completely distracts us. It has completely distracted all of us, and that's why it was very challenging. Like the IIT exam was very time, like on time, everything was happening on time, and IIT was totally different. So, and,
that is true. That
and
is
I
true.
also want to tell that please don't eat what they give.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. That is actually, yeah, I mean, I heard from seniors that they will give you something to eat in the break, but it's oily or something.
you are
It's
not
not
given
good. It's not, yeah.
your batch, like you haven't received the food from there.
No, like not from the organizers or something. Like it was in Heritage,
Uh,
so the canteen was open. So there was canteen
yeah.
food. Yes.
Oh, this food thing, I remember that. they were keeping the boxes in our room, and like, they are coming five boxes, and it was constantly distracting us. Like,
Oh,
so,
that's like during the
yeah,
exam.
exam only they are coming to give the food and giving everyone the food. Some of the fans are not working. Current was not there. It was
Oh,
some of a
that's
situation for during our time. So these
that's
things
very
can
bad.
happen.
And yeah.
Like many students can prepare, like they have the best preparation, but these things are unavoidable. You cannot avoid. So you have to be mentally prepared for these things also.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
I think that, it's like you might feel like, oh, what is happening? What if this affects me? But like, I think that, if like most people, like they are well prepared. They already know everything. Like they know most things. So like bad situations, of course, like they are problematic, but they are not going to take away the knowledge that you already have.
Correct.
So just, keep that in mind and just do like go forward.
Yeah. So Ashia, so any last piece of advice for the aspirants will be appearing next year?
Uh, One thing that I know now because I have studied for a year at ISI, uh, I had this idea about ISI, like it was like a huge thing, like some huge thing. Like I felt like, it was like the ultimate goal to get into ISI. But I think that now I know that everyone who goes there, they are like you, and it's not like a huge thing. Like everybody is there to learn, and uh, like don't don't let this exam convince you that you are not good enough, because it's a difficult exam. Of course, it's challenging, but it does not mean that you are incapable of doing math or stat. Like you are very capable, and ISI is meant to challenge everyone. Even if someone is, you think that someone is a lot better than you, ISI will challenge even that person. It challenges everyone. So if you're feeling stuck or confused during preparing for the exam, that is very normal. That is completely fine. It just matters whether you are consistent and patient. Like consistency is a very important thing. And just I think that, like if you make it, if you crack the exam, then it matters whether you're consistent. Even then, it matters whether you're consistent and like willing to think. And like I feel like there is like the concept of being brilliant or very smart. That's a very overrated concept. So like, don't worry if you have like any problems like with that. Like if you think that you're not good enough, just don't think about that. Keep practicing, be consistent, and just believe in yourself. And yeah,
Very nice things you have said. So, so here we'll end the podcast. So thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Yeah.